If you get pregnant and you are not gymming before, usianze kujirusha kwa gym. So we cannot put it as a blanket statement and say at 6 weeks, you can go back to the gym. And the reason you're gaining weight more than usual, one of the simplest reasons is because of the quantities you're eating. You feel like a hole. Unasikia tu njaa ingine ni mbaya. You feel like you're going to faint, like the world is ending if they do not bring your food. But the caveat is, that is where now we come in and advise you what is healthy eating. So you're not out here constantly eating fries, soda, pizza. It will affect your hormones, which will also affect the way you look. Weight changes and your physical appearance change actually affect the confidence of a lot of women. Because you'll find you don't like the way you look, you're gaining weight more than usual. 1 minute, as you said, you looked petite, the next minute you have a big nose, bigger than your face, or your complexion has darkened. Touch wood. Some people, you wouldn't even know they are pregnant. Also, that's when they are glowing the best. So those differences come in because of factors like hormonal changes. And this is through pregnancy to postpartum. The hormonal changes, what are you eating? Any kind of stress. So those are the things we focus on. Environmental factors. Are you hydrating? What are you eating? So let me give you an example. You're pregnant and that's why we usually advocate also before you get pregnant and we plan the pregnancy so that you can start taking the recommended multivitamins before you get pregnant. Because a baby usually they take a lot from your system. You have to eat very well and a healthy diet. Healthy diet entails having your carbohydrates, your proteins, your vegetables, your fruits, but the good kind. So you're not out here constantly eating fries, soda, pizza. It will affect your hormones, which will also affect the way you look. And this is when you're pregnant, right? So ensure we at Case Wellness we usually work with you before you get pregnant. That's why we advocate for planned pregnancies. I know at times it may happen. Okay, it may happen. So even though it has happened and it was oops, you didn't know, you just come, we ensure you're already on the correct kind of multivitamin. What is mostly given in the sector, which is affordable, is folic acid. Because sometimes some of us cannot afford the prenatal vitamins that are given. Maybe you need insurance or not. But even though you don't have, we have the affordable one that is actually recommended by the Ministry of Health. So you're given that during pregnancy. And they say immediately you know you've missed your period. Moja tu, you rush to a health facility. Sometimes we usually wait. You miss your first period, you're like, ama niko na mimba. You miss the second one, you're still waiting. Ama, immediately you miss the first one. Your period has delayed. You're noticing 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. Go and get checked. Are we pregnant? Yes, I am pregnant. Immediately be started on the prenatal vitamins. So when you're started on that, they usually help provide your system with the essential vitamins and nutrients that you need. And during that time, we guide you on what you should be eating. So you need these fruits, you need these vegetables, you need these carbohydrates, ugali ya kisiagi, unahitaji this kind of rice, you need these proteins, both plant-based and animal-based, so that you can give nutrition both to yourself and to your baby. If you get pregnant and you are not gymming before, usianze kujirusha kwa gym. Because going to the gym is very strenuous. You will find even your instructor, and you need to let your instructor be aware I am pregnant. So when you come, we'll actually explain to you, these are the exercises you can do. And walking is the simplest thing you can do. Because walking does not entail lifting something, and you don't know the strength of your pregnancy, because all pregnancies are different, as we've said, right? So we advise you which is the best diet, water intake, lifestyle, sleeping, how to manage stress, because stress will always be there. And then when the changes have happened to you. So this is why I said women, we need to be gracious with ourselves. Because after you've given birth, you notice before pregnancy, you used to be a certain way. Between pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum, there's a myriad of changes that happens through. Hormone X has come up because it needs to maintain the pregnancy. You've given birth, oxytocin is it. So the hormones have changed again. You're postpartum, you're feeling depressed. So you're up and down, up and down. It's like a very bad roller coaster. So as I said, during the first year, please be gracious to yourself. Because you'll find you don't like the way you look, you're gaining weight more than usual. And the reason you're gaining weight more than usual, one of the simplest reasons is because of the quantities you're eating. Most of us, you'll find, ile ugali ulikuwa umezoea kukula haitoshi. For me, I remember I couldn't eat. That was the last time I ate unga ya duka ya ugali. Sikuwa na shiba. To date, sishibangi spaghetti. Even rice, I feel like it's a joke. Ugali ya kisiagi ndio huwa inanishibisha. And it changed after the first postpartum. Because you feel, as you described it, you feel like a hole. Unasikia tu njaa. Njaa ingine ni mbaya. You feel like you're going to faint, like the world is ending if they do not bring your food. Especially during the first year where you're frequently breastfeeding. So you need to eat. Please eat. Because unaiban. Remember, you have a baby who is feeding from you constantly. Kwani anatoa hizo nutrients wapi? But the caveat is, that is where now we come in and advise you what is healthy eating. You get? Because haujipati umeweka kiugali hivi alafu ni tumboga na kanyama kadogo. Hapana. You find you also have to, you're eating the quantity of ugali. Your greens and vegetables are also a good quantity, and then your protein. So you're getting the different food groups, right? And you're hydrating. Unajua ukihydrate pia yususu, yupopo. So it's your system also being able to detox through sweating, urination, and pooping. So those things are normal. So hata watu wakituangalia wanaona, ai, na umenona, niko postpartum. So you've given birth. You need to give yourself time to heal. Whether you've given birth vaginally or you've given birth via CS. So we recommend about 6 weeks is when your system will have healed, both in the vaginal area and on the upper side. But every birth is different. You might find when you are having your vaginal birth, they did a cut, an episiotomy, or you tore. But God forbid that happens. So it means you need time to repair. And that's why you usually go back to your health facility and your doctor. So anaenda, anachungulia, anaangalia, penye ulishonwa pamepona. Bado, okay. This is the level of activity that you can do. This is the level of exercise that you can do. So we cannot put it as a blanket statement and say, at 6 weeks, you can go back to the gym. Need to give your body time to repair and consult with your doctor. So for ACS as well, they usually shona. So ACS is surgery. And I think people usually look at CS as a very minor thing. ACS is like going to theater. You go to theater, they've cut layers until they get to the uterus. Your uterus iko huko chini kwa tumbo ndani through your abdomen. So it's a surgery that you've gone through. You need time to heal. And sometimes it takes longer than usual. So you'll have to be advised. So whether you give birth vaginally or you give birth via CS, we usually advise you on how to go about it through your diet, your lifestyle, stress management, water intake, which activities should you be doing. If you need some form of psychology or counseling or a support system, we advise you on what to do. And it doesn't matter from how financially stable you are or not. There's just usually something that fits someone. So after postpartum, now you can go from 1 year, you can actually go back to gymming as much as you want. But I usually say, I don't put a blanket statement because it depends from one person to another. So gradually going back to your previous exercises is what we usually advise.